Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Doll Belly Knits. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode, and I think that here on out, the format of the show is going to be a little bit different. If the camera is shaky, I apologize. I have it on a bendable arm that's attached to the bed. Sitting in bed, and I am working on the wedding blanket. And I have to sit in bed to work on it at this point in time because that's how large it is. But I wanted to kind of switch up the format a little bit and kind of get back to basics, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Get back to the real reason why I started doing this. I feel like that got a little bit lost along the way with trying to make everything perfect and make it look a certain way, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the show for me. It's completely antithetical to who I am and the way I live my life. I recently was watching a podcast, David Birchall. Unfortunately, I can't remember the actual name of his podcast, but I will make sure that I put that information in the description box or flash it up on the screen here so that you can check it out for yourself. But one of his latest episodes, he does a lot of, if not exclusively, Tunisian crochet. But his one of his last episodes was entitled "No More Smoke and Mirrors," and he basically gave you the reel behind the reel about how he tapes, why he tapes, where he tapes, tapes. Listen to me. That tells you how old I am. Records his show. So yeah, it just really, it struck something in me, and it made me want to, I guess, bring it back a notch. I use a lot of euphemisms and analogies when I talk, so I will try to be as plain as possible. I started recording these episodes because I felt like, as a stay-at-home mom, as a housewife, as a domestic engineer, Frankie, whatever moniker you want to use, that I had something to say. I had value to add to the fiber community. And for me, that value, as I see it, because I am talking about myself, so that's not very humble, but I feel like I have a lot of experience with making things on the fly and having to make things to fix a problem. And that's kind of, where I'm coming from, and how I live, and it's heavily influences my making, whether it's knitting, crocheting, the tiny bit of sewing that I do, whatever it is, having to make do and work something out for the benefit of the kids or the husband or the house, that heavily influences my making. So that's where I'm coming from. And I think I kind of got away from that a little bit, kind of got caught up in the hype of YouTube and the videos. Although I enjoy making the videos, especially the editing portion. So that's kind of weird. Like the talking part, this part right here, not necessarily my favorite. I think I'm a much better writer than I am a speaker, so I'm kind of self-conscious about speaking. That's why I say and like, and I use a lot of euphemisms. But when I started making the videos and editing them, that was like a whole new world. I'm not necessarily computer savvy or techie, but I like to learn new things and to learn how they work and to really understand. So I got into editing the videos, and that's where you'll see, I add stuff to the screen. I put music in, and there have been times that what I recorded, the voice and the video got misaligned, so I had to fix that. So like I actually really enjoy the behind the scenes part more than the front part of the video recording, and that just again is kind of how I am. I'm really practical in how I approach life. So anyway, I recorded some little videos here and there throughout the week, so you can see kind of examples of how my making fits in with my everyday life. Good morning, everyone. It is a little bit before 9 a.m. and I have been awake for a couple hours. And so far this morning, I got up and I listened to a podcast, Christian podcast, and then I did some journaling because I need my Jesus time. If I don't get my alone time, get right with God, somebody gonna get hurt. That's how the day is gonna be. So that's the first thing that I try to do in the morning. And then after that, I start getting the girls ready for school. I wake them up and I start preparing their snacks and things. And this is where some of the crochet and the things that I make come into play. There's the sweetie bags, there's the reusable snack bags, so those kinds of things I use on a daily basis, and the girls take them to school. Additionally, I pack my husband's lunch, and I have made both knitted and crocheted covers for fruit. So like, put an apple inside it and it keeps it from getting bruised up and messed up, and as the, you carry your bag to and from the car, to and from work, stuff like that. So I did that. I've already unloaded the dishwasher. I don't know, you might be able to hear that in the background. I took out food, meat from the freezer for dinner. And I actually fed the dog, let her out, which, there's another product. She's a Chihuahua. She's got to have a sweater on when she goes outside. So I got put a little sweater on her before she can go outside, do her business. I also started the process for making dog food for her. We make her own wet food. I still buy dry food. Got to mix it up. And actually, if you're interested to see how that process is done, we did make a video for that. So I'll put a link for that video in the description box below. And maybe at the end of the video, I'll put a link so you can see that if you're interested, if you have a dog and you're interested in making their own food. So I got started that, had to put that in the oven, cut myself on the tin foil. My job is dangerous. Here comes Frankie. Say hello, Frankie. This is the usual position. If I am sitting and knitting, Frankie is usually on my lap, and she is underneath a blanket that I've made. This is a C2C blanket. Zach, this is what I'm talking about. Zach Stout, this is what you need to try for your next little niece that's on the way. This was done in a Red Heart variegated I don't remember the shade color. I want to say lipstick, but I'm not sure. Works up real easy, gets done real quick. Use them for everything. Okay, Frankie, are we laying down? What are we doing? Now, we are by the back door, and as you can see, there's most likely a bird outside. She's going to start barking in a minute. Here we go. So, I did that. Yeah, so that's pretty much a little insight to how my morning has gone. This has been my first opportunity to sit down and knit a little bit, so I'm working on the fairy tale scarf that is never ending, and there's usually a struggle with the dog so that she doesn't lay on top of the knitting. But yeah, that's just a real quick little insight to how part of my day has gone, and how the things that I make, whether it's literally making dog food from scratch, or it's, crocheted objects knitted objects that I'm using in the house, or that the kids and or hubby take away with them to work and to school. That's just a little bit about how my making fits in with my everyday life. Okay, so another part of my day, take my finger out of the camera. I actually spend most of my day in the kitchen, at my kitchen table. It's kind of like my war room. It's where I do most of my work throughout the day. Everybody's gone now, so I'm home alone, and that gives me the opportunity to do things like present knitting, knitting in secret, making plans for knitting, as well as all the other activities and chores that I do as part of my daily work routine. So let me just give you a little picture here. Not sure if I can flip the camera. Nope. Okay. So this is the table and the kitchen where I spend most of my day. And you can see that I have a lot of making fiber related things that are part of my daily routine. First off, you can't see it, so I'll show you. Here are the chairs that I reupholstered. Love my staple gun. These look so much better and aren't falling apart, and did not cost me a lot of money at all. Over here I have Valentine's Day knitting. If you saw the last episode, you'll know that my Valentine's Day knitting is in this really cute little Harry Potter bag. So I will be working on that while everyone else is out of the house. Additionally, I have, this is my own current work in progress. This is the Christmas Eve cast on, the Little Bobbins Christmas Eve cast on that I participated in this year. These are the Love Struck Hearts by Terry Knight. The yarn is called The Red Wedding by Rosie's Moments. Anyway, I was so into the pattern. It's upside down. The hearts are upside down. I was so into the hearts that I put an extra heart. So unfortunately, I have to frog back and pick up all those teeny tiny stitches and hopefully make everything work out right. Here I have my laptop. And I use this for obviously communicating, but for me, that means making appointments, answering emails, etc. Let me just close it up here. Sorry about the thumb. Just wanted to show this. Hey Hutch, I deflowered my Chromebook for you, baby. So that's what I do there. Still trying to eat my breakfast. That takes me a long time. I got my planner. I am very much a paper planner person. And this year I got a Strict planner from Strict Mitch. for Christmas. So not only do I have the daily routine and appointments for the family, I have plans for knitting written inside here as well. So this is turning out to be a really good Christmas present. I'm really liking this one. I'm also a list maker, so this is my list of lists, and I got paperwork and other things that I need to keep my hands on. My children, the school that they go to, are really big on communication. There's a lot of emails and a lot of little check boxes that I have to tick off. So much so that the girls have their own book. As you can see, I got a couple tabs, 1, 2, 3, one for each kid, and then a 4th tab for general school things. I actually have an entirely separate book just to deal with them and their school. Over here, a large majority of my day, I do laundry for 5.5 little people. So I will be folding laundry at the table. I got my iPad, so, oh, I can see myself. Hey. I got my iPad so I can watch whatever I'm watching on Amazon Prime while I'm folding, because folding can take a while. And as you can see, I don't know, I can't zoom in. Oh, I can. Right there on the hanger is a pair of my flip-flop socks that I knitted. So throughout the day, I'll see those things as well. Oh, yeah. And I reupholstered that chair. That's Frankie's seat. I don't know where she is right now. She's usually sitting right there, keeping me company, and, you know, gotta have power for stuff. So, yeah. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's what I do. I'm a maker, I'm a homemaker, I'm a fiber artist, and this is how I spend my day. Okay, I just got home from doing the shop, the weekly shop. So I have my regular reusable bags here that I use for really heavy items, but I also have this bag here that I crocheted, and it's some simple web pattern crochet, but the reason that I like it is not because it can hold a lot of stuff, a lot of heavy items, because it really can't, because it does stretch, and then the weight would be probably not too much for the bag because it's made out of cotton and it's strong, but just awkward and weird to hold at that point in time. It would be pretty elongated. I like this for the fact that it does expand, and I can put things in there like crisps and potato chips and bread and other little pastry items. Got some crepes. I think I got some bagels in there. Yeah, things that I don't want to get smushed. And that's why I use this bag, because it expands to the point that I can carry the item out. It's light enough. It doesn't really elongate too much and make it weird to hold, but it expands so my bread and my crisps don't get smushed. Nobody likes squashed bread or chip crumbs. The other item that I use when I get home from the shop, so like this is my fruit bowl here. It's actually a plate. I used to have one that was deeper, but this is what I'm using now. But I like these little mixed baby tomatoes. Now, if I take these out of here and I dump them in here, they're gonna fall down in between the pieces of fruit, and I'm never gonna see them again. I won't know that they're there. Sometimes, you know, I don't get to them right away, and then they'll get to rot, and it'll be a problem. I'll have a big mess that I gotta clean up in here. Also, it'll encourage other fruit to ripen and rot faster. So what I have is, ta-da! Another, basically it's a smaller version of this bag. This is something I made up myself, but it's the same kind of concept that it does expand. And the reason I like this is that what I'll do is I will wash these up, and then I will put them in here. And the cotton will absorb any moisture or water that's left over, and then they're nice and aerated, and they have a tendency to last a lot longer when I do it this way. So, yep, here are just 2 more items that I use in my everyday life. in addition to those things that I showed you, there's the other part of my stay-at-home slash mompreneur life. We have an Etsy shop, so I have to try to keep some things in stock there. It's not something huge that we're heavily invested in right now, but it is something that we are doing as a family. And for my part, I've been putting flip-flop socks in the shop, and as a matter of fact, I have a pair right here that I am finished with. I just need to, well, let me show you. So here they are. This is my usual jam, the Premier brand wool-free self-striping sock yarn. This colorway is called Ocean. Really like this one. I just have to sew the toes together and run in my ends, and these little babies will be up on the Etsy shop. Those of you who have Etsy shops and who do YouTube and Instagram, you know how long that stuff takes. Gotta post on Instagram, gotta post on Facebook, gotta, update the shop, gotta tell everybody you updated the shop. It's a lot. It's a lot. So that stuff is also what I take care of, at my job when I'm home. So, yeah, I really being completely, ooh, look at that, and brutally honest, I guess, because it's really been wearing on me a little bit, that I feel really strongly about my decision and other moms and dads' decisions to be stay-at-home parents slash house managers. That's probably a really good word. I feel like lately, personally, I have been the recipient of prejudice and injustice. Injustice is probably a little harsh, but prejudice for sure, and misunderstanding about who I am, what it is that I do, and why I do it. I feel like, and I would love to hear from other people who stay at home, moms, dads, grandparents who, are the primary caregivers in the house and managers of the house. I feel like I have been dismissed for my intelligence, that while you can't be all that intelligent or educated if you can't go out and get a job. Not the case. I feel like I've been put down or looked down upon for not being able to be an independent person because I depend on my partner to go out and make money. Not true. Also not true of me. I'm very capable of paying a bill and filing taxes and working and, all those things that people who have jobs outside the home have to do, take care of. I feel like I have been, there's always the thought process and the snide comment of, what do you do all day? I do a lot all day. And I'm sure there are other people out there who have felt this and are having these things said to them, or these conversations around them about them, and it can be really discouraging and very angering, to be honest, that, we made a decision. We made a decision as a family. We made a decision for the good of our family, And we obviously feel really strongly about it because, yes, I could be out there and have a job, and we could be a, traditional two income household where mom and dad are never around because they're always at work. So we could do that, but we chose not to. And I just feel disrespected a lot of times for having made that decision. Like it was the wrong thing to do, or not the responsible thing to do. I also get a lot of the, what kind of example are you showing your daughters? That's another one that's like, really? Are you really going down that path? Like, I don't know. So, I guess this is kind of a little bit of a call for all my other stay-at-home people out there, a call to unite that, just because we've made this choice to stay at home and to not have a traditional outside the home job doesn't mean that we're stupid, doesn't mean that we don't work hard every day, doesn't mean that we are being irresponsible. As a matter of fact, I think it shows the exact opposite. It shows that we are incredibly strong because we are making a difficult choice. We're making the choice to not make as much money as we could because we think that it's really important to be there for our children and to be, the instrumental, if not the almost sole governing body over how our children are raised and what kind of values they're going to have implanted upon them. We're not leaving it up to school to raise our kids. We're taking that, initiative on our own. And of course, I sound like a raving lunatic. I can hear myself now. If I watch this back, I'm probably going to be not happy with the way that this came out. But to be honest, it's something that's been on my mind a while, and it makes me really angry. So, yeah, it is what it is. I have nothing against parents who work, who both sets of parents work. Both my parents worked when I was growing up. So I know how hard that is, and having been part of that kind of family unit. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that it can be just as hard to be a single income family as well. And I just wish that, I got a little bit more respect for it. I wish that, people didn't look at us like we were weirdos. I don't know. I don't know anymore. This has turned into a really big, long, rambling blog. So sorry about that. I will try to get back to what you all came here for. And that would be the knitting and the crocheting. So works in progress, obviously I got going on, is the wedding blanket. Running out of time to do this. In addition, I have a lot of other things on my plate, other projects and things that I'm trying to accomplish and achieve. So it just kind of makes it more of a pressure cooker that I got to get this done. Like I said at the beginning, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, the only place I can work on this now is in my bed. I'll put a picture in it in here across of the blanket as it is across the bed. And I have an American queen size bed, so you can see how large this thing is. And I just really, it's heavy and I can't really turn it anymore. And since it's a C2C blanket and I'm working in, I'm at the point where you kind of have to turn it a lot. So I need to be in the bed to work on that. Okay, let me pause here. Other work in progress. I am still working on the fairy tale scarf. I did like 3 or 4 rows on that last night. I do a little bit of that every day. I have the secret Valentine's Day gifts in here. I am working on number 3. I need to get number 4 done. We're going to exchange presents on the Saturday the 16th instead of Thursday the 14th because that's a school day and a work day. So we'll wait till the Saturday. I will attempt to put in some video and some pictures of at least one of the finished objects at the end of this before I post it on YouTube so everybody can see what I've been working on. But let me see. Give you a little bit of a sneak peek here. This is number 3. This is a Susan Claudino design. I don't want to say what it is, but so if you're familiar with Susan Claudino, you know that she has really unique construction where you don't have to sew any bits together, that you knit everything together, which means that you have to make all the pieces ahead of time, whether they're arms, legs, tails, ears, whatever. So I love the construction of these things. This is some of the parts. I call this Daryl Dixon knitting, right? The Walking Dead, bringing home little bit of squirrel for everybody. So here's these parts here. And then, okay. And there's this. I've already posted pictures of it on Facebook. Part of it on Facebook on the Doll Belly Knits page because my kids and my husband don't look at Facebook. And everybody's like, what the heck is that? So, okay. So there's that. Other work in progress that I'm getting started on. I will be hanking up this Lush, lovely goodness that I got from Dye Candy Yarns. It's the colorway is carrot, so it's orange, obviously. I don't think the camera is currently doing this justice. This is making it look more red than it really is. It's a really bright orange color. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is her super sock base. There's probably no doubt that this is going to be for my mom. Orange is her favorite color, and her birthday's coming up, so I'm going to ball this up and get this going. Not sure, I mean, it'll be socks. Not sure exactly what pattern I'm going to use yet, but so that's next on the list. I guess that's kind of a future work in progress, but like I'm probably going to ball it up today, so that will be, sorry, I'm looking away from the camera. That'll be happening momentarily. Okay. Finished objects. I do have a finished objects to show. Well, I showed you the flip-flop socks that I finished, except for just gotta do up the toes a little bit. So that will be on the shop shortly. And I finished my Christmas Eve cast-on socks, Little Bobbins Christmas Eve cast-on. This is the sock that I've been working on since Christmas Eve. I finally finished it. The pattern is Love Struck Hearts by Terry Knight. I think you can actually see the hearts really nice here. And this is yarn from Rosie's Moments. This is, I don't know, I mean, it's the 75-25% sock yarn, and it has stellina in it, so you can see the sparkle a little bit. And this is the Red Wedding colorway. Oh, you can really see the heart there when I stretch it out like that. That's cool. I got my sock blocker here. Let me put it on, although the hearts run down the front and the back, so I don't know how that's gonna play out here. Let's just see. Boop, boop, boop. So I think they're a little big. They're a little big for me, maybe, but not too much so. It's got a nice heel there, like a reinforced, I guess it's a slip stitch heel. And then, yeah, you can't really see the hearts. And not to mention, you know, the crazy tape I decided to use for the sock blocker, but pretty happy with that. I'm actually was just happy and excited to be participating in the cast on not New Year's, on Christmas Eve, because this was like the first Christmas that I had all my Christmas knitting done actually before Christmas, and I wasn't frantically trying to finish it up. So that was delightful, and how apropos, all the little hearts on it, just in time for Valentine's Day. So that is a finished object there. Let's see. Oh, I have, so that was works in progress. I showed you future work in progress, and did my babbling, rambling about why I do this show. I don't have any magical memories per se. However, we're going to do a magical memory right here in the making. A friend of mine from the States sent me something in the mail, and I haven't opened it yet. I do know it's yarn. She told me about it. So we're going to open it right here, right now. I got the box to the point where all I gotta do is rip the tape. I got the dog in my lap too, so. Okay. Tape. Let's see. Oh, a little piece of tape here still. Boop. Ooh. So, yeah, she told me this. We'll see what it is. This is yarn from, oh, Frankie's really sniffing it, it's called Bella Sarah Alpaca Fashions, home to boutique in the barn. And she wrote me a little note that she loves me and she misses me. I love you, miss you too, babe. See you soon. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Frankie, back away. It's my alpaca. Oh, look at this. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Oh, it's so squishy. Look at Frankie's nose is right here. I don't know if you can see her. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is, it says Natural Wonder Alpaca Yarn. 80%, I don't know if I can pronounce this. 80% Huacaya, Huacaya, and 20% merino. It's a 2-ply sport, and it's called Summertime Blues. Oh, this is so pretty. There's one. There's two. And there's three. So there's 3 skeins of this 2-ply sport. Oh, let's see. It doesn't tell me what the yardage is. So I will have to, I can put it on the scale and I can measure it, and I can at least see how many grams it is, and then I can figure out what to do with it. Ah, this is, okay, it's mine. This is so nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Connie. So awesome. Okay, oh wait, there's another little card inside. Yep. Okay, mine, dog, mine. Back away. Here's the card for the place. Bella Sarah Alpaca Fashions. So this is, she lives in the States, so this is in America. I'm assuming somewhere in the tri-state area, Maryland, Virginia area. yeah. And then there's a little blurb on the back about alpacas and their wool and except the history of its usage. So, oh, that's so awesome. I'm super excited. Super, super excited. We will have to figure out what we can do with that and make a project for that. Ooh, exciting! Okay, well, I think that's... Oh, I was moving. Sorry. I think that's about it for this episode of Doll Belly Knits. Hopefully you've liked what you've seen. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. If you do like what you've seen, that's not good grammar, is it? If you like what you've seen here on this show, please click the thumbs up, subscribe, tap the little bell. Also, if you are a return viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. And let's have a conversation. I'm sure there may be some thoughts that people are having about some of the things that I said. So I would love to chat with you about it. Pop a comment in the comments box below. So until next time, I hope you have some happy knitting or crocheting or whatever it is that you do for your making. I hope that you stay well and healthy, and I hope that you get out there and make some magical memories of your own. See you next time. Bye.